Welcome to a huge video as we're going to be going through my League One predictions. It's always the most controversial and one no one ever agrees with. Leave a like on this video to bring some luck to your football club and subscribe to the channel on the road to 100,000 subscribers. That would be greatly appreciated and I apologise for these predictions in advance. So let's begin. In 24th place and rock bottom, I apologise already. It's Crawley Town. This is going to come back and bite me yet again because I predicted Crawley to go down in League 2, rock bottom in League 2, and look at them. They got promoted to League 1, didn't they? I do not hate Crawley at all, but I just look at the competition around and I just struggle to see where they would finish other than the bottom four. It is a little bit of a cop-out, I can't lie, because it's the easy option to say. I look at the players who have left, like Liam Kelly and Danilo Orsi, and then you see the signings they've made, like Gavin Holohan, who's top class. It is so difficult to predict. I feel like I've had the cop-out option of putting Crawley rock bottom. When teams get promoted like Crawley, Mansfield, Wrexham and Stockport, they're so hungry to stay in this division, but I think I could get proven wrong yet again. In 23rd place, I've got Shrewsbury, and I'm not going to lie, it's more of a potluck guess than any logical reason. The departures of the men up top, Ryan Bowman and Daniel Udo, will be big misses. John Marquise is a great signing up top, but is it really enough to stay in the division? I'm not too sure. Paul Hurst as manager, I'm just not convinced. And then I look at the transfer activity at other clubs and I think it's going to be very difficult for them to survive. Now this one could be a very controversial shout as I've got Stevenage in 22nd place. And especially after the success last season, this is a surprise. Steve Evans is gone, the bloke who rattles every football fan and waddles around like a penguin. Without him, I just don't see Stevenage having the same success. Is Alex Ravel ready to take the big role and manage? I'm just not too convinced, and I'm sure if I'm wrong, this is going to get clipped up and I look like a mug. I always do look like a mug. Van Kooten to Burton is a big blow for their defence, which was so good last season. Keeping the likes of Jamie Reid, who scored 18 goals, and Jordan Roberts with 5 goals and 5 assists was very key. But the difference for me is the manager. Is Alex Ravel really ready? And I just don't think he is. I'm going to take the gamble and say Stevenage will go down. This could really come back to haunt me, and Stevenage, for all I know, could be finishing mid-table. And the final relegation place I have is Northampton in 21st place. Second season syndrome could take place here, not just for Stevenage, but for Northampton too. And that in itself, I feel like is a valid reason. Would they be motivated to go out and do it again and stay in the division, the same goal? And not forgetting they've lost Mark Leonard, Kieran Bowie, Sam Sherring, Lewis Apare. These are big players and we're part of the big success. Yes, they've brought in players to replace them, but are they up to the standard like they were? I'm not too sure. That is the question. In 20th place and narrowly missing out on relegation and surviving, I've got Mansfield Town. They've kept the core of the squad, which is brilliant and defensively always solid. But the question for me is the squad depth. What if a few of them get injured? Have they got the replacements up to the standard to really compete in League One? Nigel Clough, I think, is a great manager, and I'm sure by the end of the window they'll bring in some more names. I just think that this relegation battle could genuinely be between about 7 teams here. Kayla Dunn with 22 goals and 10 assists is for sure the player to watch out for. They scored a hatful of goals and spread out across the whole team. George Maris, Will Swan and Lucas Atkins are great mentions too. Personally, I think they've just got about enough to survive in this division. 19th place, I've got Exeter City, and genuinely, yet again, it's kind of more like a potluck guess. It's going to be between about 7 sides for relegation, and Exeter are going to be around there. They finished the season so strongly, and will they take that momentum going into next season? Let's see. Josh McGuinness is a smart signing, a proper number 9 they can have holding the ball up and getting up the pitch. All in all, predictions is guesswork. I've got them to survive in 19th place. 18th place, and I've got Leyton, Orient, the East London side. Will second season syndrome hit them? I do not think so. Richie Wellens signing a new contract is brilliant, a great coach who succeeded well at the club. Do I think they're going to be improving from last campaign? I do not think so, but ultimately I've got them down to survive. In 17th place, I've got Burton Albion, and my word, they've made some activity in this window. They've been productive and they've been impressing me, I can't lie. Van Kooten coming in from Stevenage, Elliot Ward from Salford, Danilo Orsi from Crawley, and I could keep going on, but they've signed so many players. You can tell that they do not want to be fighting at the bottom anymore. They've made all of these signings due to the competition around them, and I think they also realise the quality going into next season because it is outrageous. They've bought these signings in early, which is key to gel them all as a team. Burton fans are saying they're playing well in pre-season, and I've got high hopes. The Brewers could be in for a very good season and could ultimately finish in higher places, but for me, 17th place. Moving on to 16th place, and we've got Cambridge United. I just think under Gary Monk, Cambridge could be the team to look out for. The 10 games he had at the end of the season was all about staying up, and he achieved that. But Gary is wanting to start his project from this pre-season, becoming a more possession-based and attacking side, creating more opportunities. They've made some brilliant signings too, like Shane Lavery, Gary Gardner, Corey Smith, Kel Watts, Taylor Richards. They've kept the core of the squad and got rid of those who weren't regulars in the side. All the interviews of the new signings mentioned how much of an influence Gary Monk is and how he really wants to push Cambridge forward this season. And I'm going to be honest, I'm really buying into this, and I think they're going to surprise a few people. Corey Smith played 37 games for a Derby side, he got promoted. Gary Gardner, 20 games in the Championship. This is vital experience they need in the team, but also a great balance as youthful talents Glenn McConnell and George Hoddle will look to push into the first team. The first full season and pre-season at the new training ground too is very very key. Do not get me wrong, this was years ago, but people need to realise that Gary Monk has won a Premier League Manager of the Month award and is managing a club in League One. I just think people need to put some respect on Cambridge United's name. Everyone keeps predicting them to go down, but I just can't see it. In 15th place, I've got Bristol Rovers. All of the sides between 5th and 24th can genuinely finish anywhere amongst those numbers, so predicting this is impossible. If I get anything correct, I'll be amazed if I'm honest. Bristol Rovers, since being promoted from League 2, have finished 17th and 15th, so I think that consistency will continue. They've got a squad capable of finishing in the top half if it all clips, but with this competition around them, I'm going to stick them in 15th place. In 14th place, I've got Wrexham, and this could surprise a few people, but let's see if the story will continue with a success at Wrexham. For me, I think this is going to be more of a challenge on what the fans and probably the owners think. The squad is League One level in my opinion, and I feel this is the season to establish yourself in the division. The expectation may be playoffs and keep getting promoted season in, season out, but I think they need to steady the ship and firstly establish themselves this year before going for it next season. No doubt they have the quality to finish in the top half and potentially push for the playoffs, but I'm trying to be a little bit realistic. Elliot Lee is a baller, Mullins scores goals, and James McLean brings that experience. 14th place could look a bad finish for you guys, but then again, the quality around you, I'm trying to steady the ship for the ambitions of your football club, and I think you need this season just to establish yourself in the division. Saying that, I'm well aware I could be very wrong. In 13th place, I've got Stockport County, and they have invested very well. And let's not forget, they have achieved 3 promotions in the last 6 seasons. That is unheard of. Dave Challoner is building something so special and are in the next recruitment phase for the next part of the project. It's an exciting time to be a Stockport County fan, and I hope you enjoy the adventure. Lewis Bates is a brilliant signing, and they are fully capable of finishing higher than the 13th place I've predicted them. In 12th place, I have got Reading, and we have no idea where they could finish, but I'll tell you what we can go off is the end of the season they had. There seemed to be a big togetherness throughout, which ultimately achieved them 17th place, staying up with a 6-point deduction. Assuming that they'll be okay with no more deductions, I think they're going to have a very good season. We all love the duo Nibsy and Smith, who will continue to smash it and give everything. Lewis Wing scoring 10 with 8 assists, Aziz with 8 goals and 9 assists. They've got some brilliant players. I think Ruben Sellers will continue to build and bring that Reading Football Club, but in 12th place I've predicted. 11th place, and I've got Wycombe Wanderers, and all I'm going to say is, do not underestimate them. If we went off the form from the second half of the season, then they would have finished 4th in the table. They've kept most of the squad which achieved that, and also brought in a few additions too. Daniel Udo being one who done well at Shrewsbury, scoring 12 goals, and Backinson, who is solid in midfield. Do not sleep on Wycombe and be patient for their start of the season, because it is looking tough. Wrexham away, Birmingham at home, Rotherham at home, and Blackpool away. That is incredibly difficult, so if you see them at the bottom towards the start of the season, then do not underestimate them, because they'll be back. I wouldn't be surprised if Wycombe finish higher. All the best to the football club. In 10th place, I have got Peterborough United. The Posh have lost a few big players, but also invested in a few too. Jack Sparkle's a great left back who I'm sure will assist a load this season, signed from Portsmouth. Selling Burrows to Sheffield United, Ronnie Edwards to Southampton. These are big losses which could affect their position. A new back four will take time to gel, so I'm sure they'll leak a few at the start of the season. I don't think they're going to have a good of a season like they did last time out, but Posh fans, let me know what you think. In 9th place, I'm going up to the northwest, and that is Blackpool. Jordan Rhodes scored 15 goals, so he'll look to continue his form going into this campaign. On the other hand, Dembele is going to be a very tough player to replace after his quality season. However, they still have the quality around the pitch to be a top half-table side. I don't think they'll reach the playoffs, but they'll be in and around it. In 8th place, I've got Lincoln. Towards the end of last season, they had so much hope of getting playoffs after winning 10 games out of 12, but ultimately at the final hurdle, they just fell short and couldn't achieve it. Ethan Erahon was arguably one of the best midfielders in League One. He is the difference as he controls the middle of the park. They are a very well-run club with a manager who's doing brilliantly. Another team who could snatch playoffs, but for me, just outside it. In 7th place, and the club I've just got narrowly missing out on playoffs, is Huddersfield Town. I just think they're going to find League One tougher than they think. Manager Michael Duff is a great appointment who's done well at Cheltenham and Barnsley. They've recruited well in signing Anthony Evans from Bristol Rovers, Sorensen from Lincoln, and Herbie Kane from Barnsley. And they've kept a lot of players who were with them last year, which could ultimately be very key going into this campaign. In 6th place, I have got Wigan, and this is a club I'm strongly backing. Without the point deductions, they would have finished 10th, which shows the quality in that squad. Sean Maloney is a brilliant possession-based manager, and I think they'll only improve. Charlie Hughes is one of the biggest up-and-coming English prospects at centre-back, and there seems to be a sense of stability at the club, which is great to see, and that should only help them improve and move up the table. In 5th place, we've got Barnsley, and no matter if they're good, bad, inconsistent, and inconsistent, you'll always find them in the playoffs. The fans are hopeful that this can happen again, and I'm really buying into it. Signing Hurahan was smart, a great technical player. However, losing Devante Cole and Herbie Kane could come back to bite them. However, I've been hearing Herbie Kane wanted out, and Devante Cole at the end of the season, he was just too inconsistent. I feel like they need to sign another forward. The midfield is looking very strong, and defensively, I think they're going to be solid. I'm liking their chances, and I think they're going to be finishing in the playoffs yet again. In 4th place, I've got Charlton Athletic, and under Nathan Jones, I think they're going to have a great season. The signing of Gaston Academy, I think, will be really good after watching him at Cambridge. He'll be be a great vocal point up top and will chip away with a few goals. He is a very hard-working player, and I've seen that at the training ground. He's always the first in. Burton is also a good addition alongside Mannion in goal and Luke Berry after playing in the Premier League last season. The squad is stacked, and under Nathan Jones, who I rate so highly, I just think they're going to have a really successful season and finish 4th place. In 3rd place, I've got the Yorkshire side, Rotherham, and I think they're going to cause some serious issues this campaign. We all know they're the yo-yo between the Championship and League One, and will they do it yet again? Well, it's going to be via the playoffs in my opinion. Steve Evans as manager, and wow, they've made some good signings. Clark Harris signing from Peterborough on a free. We all know what he can do, and that's scoring goals. Reece James from Sheffield Wednesday, Joe Rafferty from Pompey. That'll definitely strengthen the defence. It's going to be a toss-up between 2nd and 3rd, but I've got them in 3rd place. Now, in the first automatic promotion spot, I have got Bolton Wanderers, and surely this is their time to do so. And I'm sure they've had enough of the playoffs after losing to Barnsley first time out and then losing in the playoff final to Oxford. They've got the squad to automatically go up. They just need to kill games off more often, be more consistent, put these draws into wins, and they've got automatic promotion. Luke Southwood is a brilliant goalkeeper who will do well for the Whites. Aaron Collins will also be one hell of a player next season. Santos at the back and Sheehan in midfield, bringing that creativity. This is the season, and I believe in Ian Everts. Randall Williams deserves a shout, a fantastic player who I'm sure will shine. It feels to me that Bolton have all the ingredients. They can now put it together, learn from the heartbreaks from the playoff final, the playoff semi-final the season before that, put it into this campaign. Ian Everts should know what to do now, and that is for Bolton to achieve that automatic promotion and get back to the Championship. It's down to the players and manager to execute the plan. Will they do it? Let me know in the comments. And in 1st place, we've got Birmingham City. Now, is that really a shock? Probably not. But how can you not put Birmingham top spot with the money they've spent? It's actually frightening the amount of money they're spending. I think they've got a £20 million budget. However, what I will say is we've seen these sides from the Championship getting relegated to League One and finding it really difficult to then get promoted back to the Championship. Alfie Maybag's goals, a brilliant signing. Cochrane is solid at the back. Another great addition, and signing players from the top Dutch division. It really does show the level they're at, and if they don't get promoted first time of asking, then it's quite embarrassing. And how am I forgetting Mark Leonard too, who was one of the best players in League One last season. He was incredible for Northampton and is signed for the Blues on a permanent from Brighton. I wish Birmingham City all the best. They've got a great fan base who's very loyal to their club and are going to be enjoying the ride ultimately. And I'm sure you're going to be ticking off a lot from the 92, let's put it that way. But ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my League One predictions. Let me know in the comments who will get relegated, who will finish playoffs, and who will go up automatically. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.